Hey guys, today I am going to describe Ode on Melancholy written by John Keats. In this particular session, we will cover the various points of this poem like introduction, tone, literary form, summary, stanza explanation, major literary devices, and major themes. Firstly, we are going to discuss introduction. Ode on Melancholy was written by a pure poet John Keats. This ode was written in 1819 and first published in 1820. In this ode, the poet has equated pain with pleasure. The beautiful lines of the poem appear when the poet says about melancholy, she dwells with beauty, beauty that must die. In this ode, the poet has connected each positive feeling with its melancholy ends. Now we are going to discuss tone. The tone of the poem is philosophical. The poet exposes the reality that joy and pain are inseparable. The beginning and end of the poem is quite impressive. Literary form. A vivid form of philosophy. The poem consists of 3 stanzas, each carries 10 lines. Use of philosophy makes us feel the intellectualism of the poet. Now we are going to discuss summary of this poem. The poem Ode on Melancholy was written by John Keats. He was a great poet in English literature. He was born in 1795 and died in 1821 because of tuberculosis. In this poem, John Keats has accepted the reality that joy and pain are inseparable, and to experience joy fully, we must experience melancholy. This ode is quite different from other odes of his. In 4th stanza, the poet tells the readers what not to do in sadness. He stresses that the sufferer should not go to Lethe, not commit suicide, and should not take the poison. He says, if you do these things, you will not be able to feel the anguish of sorrow. In the 2nd stanza, the poet says that the sky weeps and it rains, but as an outcome of it, the flowers bloom on earth. In the same stanza, it is told what to do at the time of melancholy. That is, we have to enjoy melancholy. We have to enjoy the beauty surrounding all around. In the final stanza of this poem, the poet says that melancholy is everywhere. He is of the view that the wakeful soul will be the great prize won from melancholy. Explanation of stanza 1. When the 4th stanza opens, the poet instructs us what should not we do in our time of sadness. He says that the sufferer should not go to Lethe, a river of forgetfulness. Furthermore, he should not commit suicide. If one does these things, will no longer be able to feel the anguish of sorrow. Explanation of stanza 2. In the 2nd stanza, the poet uses rain falling as a metaphor for sadness descending on a person. When the sky weeps and it falls rain, the flowers bloom over here. So we have to get a lesson from it, and when melancholy falls upon us like a weeping cloud, we should glut on the beauty of a rose. Or if one has a beloved and she shows anger, hold her hands and feed deep upon her beautiful eyes. Explanation of stanza 3. In the last stanza of this poem, the poet says that melancholy is surrounded everywhere. It resides with beauty that must die. It also resides with joy, which is always ready to depart. In this stanza, it is tried to expose that beauty is ephemeral. The poet concludes his poem that the wakeful soul will be the prize won from melancholy. Now we are moving towards major literary devices which are used in this poem: metaphor, simile, and imagery. Finally, we are going to discuss major themes of this poem: love for melancholy, temporal nature of melancholy. That's enough. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, AR English Lab. Thank you. Bye bye.